Two fantastic community spotlights are in the show, and it's Mental Health Awareness Month. We'll talk about that, but we'll begin with the Capital Area Human Services. Roll it, Kirk. Oh, she's a ray of sunlight on any rainy day. Dr. Jan Laughinghouse with Capital Area Human Services is here with us to talk about the great work they do. You know, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, but there's so many other things going on in the capital region that this great organization helps with. How are you, Doc?
I am well on this rainy day, and thank you so much for bringing me here.
All right, so let's talk about Capital Area Human Services and the list of things that your organization does for the community.
Right, so Capital Area Human Services provides mental health, addictive disorders, including prevention and disability services for a 7-parish region. The 7 parishes would be East and West Baton Rouge, East and West Feliciana, Iberville, Ascension, and Point Coupee.
Yeah. So for people, I mean, this is such, proudly so, this is a discussion we're having openly more now than we did in years gone by.
Absolutely.
People talking about their mental health. I see on social media often people are encouraging friends and family members to say something if you're not okay, like reach out for help. We've had some high-profile suicides and things that have happened. We just had that young man at LSU earlier this year take his life because of something. Where are we now as it relates to providing services or help to people who are in or before crisis?
All right, so let me start with the high point. The high point is that in Baton Rouge, we have about 450 mental health professionals for every 100,000 people.
Wow.
Okay, but the data still presents a concerning picture for Baton Rouge and Louisiana as a whole. In 2023, statistics said about 1 out of every 9 Louisianians endorse feelings of anxiety and depression. And so that represents about 400,000 citizens that are really struggling, and about the same number of people that endorse feelings of suicidality. And with regard to suicide rates, you mentioned suicide earlier, about the age range of 10 to 24, suicide is the third leading cause of death among Louisiana children. 10 to 24. I know that shocked you, right? Ages 10 to 24, third leading cause of death, and then again at 25 to 34. And within that demographic, we're talking about veterans being an exceptionally high risk, and the one demographic that has an increasingly, alarmingly high rate of suicide would be African American males.
So in the next segment, we're going to talk with Dr. Christianne Ricard about mental health and resources available to people. I'm curious about that younger end of the suicide spectrum, 10 years old.
Absolutely. So that's why Capital Area right now is working in conjunction with Youth City Lab, and we have a media campaign right now that is called Nobody Knows, because we understand that children are fighting battles that we don't understand, and they're feeling isolated and alone. And as a fact, 20% of them endorse feeling depressed and anxious at least 2 days per week. And so we have that campaign out there on our socials so that the children can know that they have people to reach out to. At Capital Area, we can treat the entire family, and we treat children as young as 5 years old.
What are some things from your perspective that parents should be on the lookout for? I know that I've heard about kids who isolate themselves, certain shifts in behavioral patterns, but are there things that people should look out for not just kids, but for family members or friends who may be on the brink of something?
Any changes in mood are particularly interesting to look at and should cause you to say, what's going on? Sometimes we think kids are just moody and it's teenage angst, but sometimes the things that we don't know can hurt us. So having open conversations with your children, checking in with them to see how their days are, to see if their school grades are dropping, if the things that they used to be interested in, they're no longer interested in anymore. They don't want to play in sports. They don't want to play on their games or get on social media or doing those types of things are red flags in younger children. If you see them begin to wet the bed or act out or regress any in their developmental stages, those are signs that we might be having an issue.
As it relates to overdoses and addiction, I got a little less than a minute. Where are we now? Is it improving? Is it about the same? Is it worse?
Actually, we are improving, but the death rate was so high that it is still too high for comfort.
Yeah.
So we are still continuing to distribute Narcan and talk to people about the fact that there is help there. The thing about Capital Area is that we get state general fund, and because of that, we can pay for indigent care. So we have a sliding fee scale, and the inability to pay will not keep people from receiving services.
I love that. Quickly, tell me about the event that you have happening on the 23rd.
On the 24th.
24th.
Yes, absolutely. It's a Saturday. It's called Driving into Recovery. People can go to the Leo S. Butler Center, stay in the comfort of their cars, and see a range of vendors tell them about behavioral health issues, and it's all free.
I love me some Jan Laughinghouse.
And I love me some you back.
I appreciate you and the work that you do.
Thank you.
Up next, Dr. Ricard is going to be here to talk more about mental health. Stay right where you are. And here's where you can contact me. If you got something you think people in the Capital Region want to hear about, there's where you can get at me. Actually, Dina's email address is there. She's your way in. Well, another one of my favorites is here today as well, Dr. Christianne Ricard. We talked about Mental Health Awareness Month with Dr. Jan Laughinghouse in our first segment, and Dr. Ricard was here a couple of weeks ago, and we really under somber circumstances, talking about the young man who had taken his life, the LSU student and athlete. And this month has become a really positive dialogue month in ways that it was not maybe 10 years ago, where we actually talk about mental health. And I want to dig into that with you now. What is your grade on how America addresses mental health as a whole?
So mental health is health, period. And we need to normalize that. And also to reduce the stigma around mental health. I think it's becoming more a topic, a trend. And I want to remind everyone that it's just not a trend, it's a tool.
Yeah.
And we
now, what do you mean when you say it's a tool?
It's something that we need to incorporate into every aspect of our lives, business, family. We need to use it as a tool to manage our overall health.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a side conversation, it is the conversation.
So what are some good mental health techniques, right? If you're advising someone on how to sustain a positive mental being, what would you advise?
So take 10 minutes out your day just for yourself. No phone, no social media, just 10 minutes of silence.
Okay.
Taking a walk. One other thing that's so important is sleep. Sleep is like medicine.
Oh, Lord.
And if you have a lack of sleep, it mimics symptoms of anxiety and depression.
So you gotta sleep more.
You have to sleep like it's your job. You have to sleep like you're going on an appointment. So it has to be serious. You can't be passive with it.
See, I feel reprimanded over here by Dr. Ricard, because I got to do better at that. So healthy sleep habits, obviously taking some time to yourself. When you hear the phrase self-care, what does that mean to you?
So self-care and not aftercare. So I want to say this.
Okay, all
so
right.
Self-care is anticipating your needs ahead of time. So most people are doing aftercare after they burn out, then they are reactive.
Ooh.
So to me, self-care is you telling me that in 2 weeks you have something scheduled. You're telling me next week I have downtime, and that's going to be my day to relax. So the fact that you're thinking about yourself ahead of time is what I consider self-care.
All right. Okay, Alyssa, so when we tape the next show, Johnny Asian should not be here. Okay, I need that for self-care. For kids, how do you create good mental health principles, practices for children, starting when they're young, even because they deal with so much peer pressure. I didn't have the specter of social media and all this stuff when I was a teen. How do you create that environment for your teens or young kids to be mentally stable?
I'm going to be honest, and I'm talking about what I see now as a professional. We need spaces like organizations, churches, after school programs, resources where it's a village. We can talk about it being modeled in the home by the parents, but sometimes parents need help, and they haven't been taught on how to model that behavior for their child. So I think making sure that we have them involved in spaces where they can get that type of modeling, and also talking about it more with our children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Men struggle with talking about mental health. I got some friends and we often sit and just kind of chat about how the day is going, talk about wins, losses, all those things. But one of the things that we all agree on is coming up, you never really heard men talking about feelings.
Yeah.
Is that getting better?
It is getting better.
Okay.
I see a lot of spaces being created for just men's health. We just had something at Southern University 2 weekends ago. I do think we need some more spaces where they can feel more comfortable talking about feelings. But overall, I feel like as a community, from our families to our workplaces to our relationships, I think a lot of people are overwhelmed and burnt out. And so I think we need to teach emotional regulation, not just as a skill.
Emotional regulation, what is that?
Emotion is being able to manage and have the capacity for your emotions. So most times, certain emotions may make us feel like we don't have control of ourselves. So I like to teach my clients capacity. Life is going to life.
Yes.
It's going to life.
Yes.
So we have to get used to that. We have to get ready for the next opposition. We don't need to go away from it. We don't need to isolate ourselves and say, oh, you know, I'm protecting my peace. No, sometimes you just need to face something head on and also use your resources, your tools, and talk to a trusted friend, even if you can't get to a therapist.
I think it's just dropping nuggets all over the place in here. So right now, as we are about to enter the summer, it's a crazy time. Kids are going to have more free time. Parents are going to be dealing with the fact that kids have more free time.
Facts.
What's your advice for a mentally healthy summer?
Mentally healthy summer is having structure. Don't lose your structure, because when kids are in school, that helps them to regulate like their day. So I think in the summer, parents should put them on a schedule, making sure that they know what's happening in the morning, what's happening in the evening. And that way, when school starts back again, they're not making such a hard transition. So your structure, making sure that you find affordable school summer programs, enrichment, those things. So just making sure, as a parent too, I would go to Barnes & Nobles and get all my workbooks and making sure my kids still had something to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
And quickly, I know Alyssa's counting me out. What about social media? They've got more time for social media during the summer. How do you regulate that?
Screen time.
Okay.
So parents have to use their resources and make sure that they are using apps or asking for the phone back. Hey, at 6 o'clock, we're going to take the phone back. You'll get it back at 8 o'clock.
She's the absolute best. I should charge y'all for this. This is so good. Thank you, Doc.
Absolutely.
All right, up next, we're going to highlight a young lady who won a pretty fantastic award, and I can't wait to introduce you to her. Here's where you can catch the show. Tell your friends about it. You know it's on YouTube, too. It streams on Friday on the app and .com, and then airs Friday night, 7, and replays on Saturday at 3, y'all. Man, are y'all ready to meet a rock star? I got one for you. This young lady right here, Davia. Now, she is one of 750 scholars selected out of a pool of over 48,000 students nationwide. A senior at Scotlandville Magnet. Girl told me she's going to Xavier, and you're going to study what?
Pre-med biology.
Pre-med biology. I'm already going to ask her for a loan, because you know she's about to be rolling in it. And Tavity. Man, I got that name right. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to botch it. Okay, Davia, let's talk about this honor. You being selected. What did that mean to you? First of all, tell everyone what it is.
What is
Like what the honor is.
what the GATE scholarship is? The GATE scholarship is a scholarship for minority students who are going to college, and it's all expenses paid for, tuition and fees.
So what work did you put in to get this designation?
The first step was just applying to the scholarship, and then you had to make it through that. And then the second part was writing essays. It was 4 essays. Then I became a finalist, and I had to prep for my virtual interview.
And how was that?
It was great. It was good.
So tell me about your essays. What did you write about?
Well, one of the essays was about leadership and what leadership means to me. The other one was about heritage and culture and community. I forgot.
You forgot what the other one was. So Tavity's here with you, and I want to talk with you about being an example, because there is a great number of young people at Scotlandville Magnet. Obviously, it's a school we don't talk enough about here in East Baton Rouge Parish. But what does it mean? Look at you with your pride in your school. What does it mean to represent your school and your city with this honor?
It means a lot to represent my school, because I feel like with Scotlandville, people really look down on it, but it's really a lot there to offer in great students.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about hobbies. What do you do for hobbies? What do you do for fun?
Like outside of school?
Yeah. She said outside of school. I'm telling you, Mom. Good job, Mom. So what do you do outside of school for fun?
For fun, outside of school, I mean, maybe I just go outside or something in the backyard and do TikToks or something.
Just do TikToks, which that's kind of common. All right, so for your peer group, how old are you?
17.
17. For your peer group, I'm always a big fan of us highlighting the positives of young people. When Josh reached out about having you on the show, I was like, absolutely, because I love that. I don't think we talk enough about the majority of your age group, and the majority of your age group is not making trouble. So what's your advice to fellow 17, 18, 19-year-olds to get them to be motivated to be their best?
17, 18, 19?
Yeah.
I just say, like, whatever you want to do, just go for it. Don't think about what somebody else is going to think about you. Whatever you want to do, just put your all into it and ride it out.
Who's been your biggest motivator? Who's your mentor? Who do you look up to? Do you have a mentor? Is there somebody you idolize, someone that encourages you, they motivate you to be your very best? Kid's got such a great smile. You don't have a mentor? You're that solid? You're doing it all on your own?
No, I feel like my mom motivates me to be my best.
Mom is offset over here, beaming. Yeah. We can almost have lights coming from Mom. Well, listen, congratulations, young lady.
Thank you.
Your sisters are here. You want to just say who their names are?
That's my youngest sister, Journey.
And then there's Alexia?
Yeah, Alexia.
All right.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Well, congratulations to you.
But I have 10 siblings, though.
You have 10 siblings? Yeah, you're going to need that degree. You get, well, congratulations to you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Congrats to the folks at Scotlandville Magnet for this work. And appreciate Josh setting us up. Listen, you keep doing great things, right?
Thank you.
All right. Up next, one more superstar. You'll meet her next. And the C-Suite airs on Monday. It streams on the app and on WAFB.com. A conversation with Dr. Bo Clark is up there. Also an on-location show at Doe's Eat Place. Yes, sir. Man, I think this episode is killing it. You've met a rock star young lady, a couple of mental health professionals, and this lady, Stephanie Crawford, was recently featured on the Oprah podcast talking about students and the pressures they face. She talked about resilience. First of all, that was a tremendous honor. How'd that happen?
Yeah. So by accident, really. I mean, well, not accident, because they sent out an email and were asking some of Oprah's inner circle people, but anybody can be an Oprah, in circle person. You just have to pay $35 a year. And look, I mean, I love getting her newsletters and having access to her message boards and things like that, because she has wonderful people and experts that are on there. So of course I joined, and then I received an email from them asking if anyone had had any struggles with anxiety in their life and how it affected them, and to write a little blurb and send them a picture, which is what I did. And I'd kind of forgotten about it, and then 2 weeks later, I got a call from Chicago, and it wasn't a spam. It wasn't listed as spam. I said, well, let me see who this is. And so I answered, and it was one of the producers for Oprah, for Harpo Productions.
Yeah.
And I went through and did a couple more, phone interviews with them and shared my story, and then I was chosen. So that's how it happened.
Let's talk about what the protein of the conversation about what students are dealing with now. The young lady who was here earlier is stellar and has done well, but not every student handles the pressures of being a teenager as well. Talk about that.
Well, there is so much pressure for teenagers and just in general. I mean, when we were kids, it was tough. I mean, we have a lot of physiological things that are going on, but the social aspect has really changed too, and the pressures of getting into colleges and, needing a higher ACT score to be able to get into a school. The good thing about it is now is there is a lot more money out there for students to plug in to be able to get, which we didn't really have. No. With TOPS and just other, scholarships that are out there. But, specific to Louisiana, TOPS, of course, is a big, driving, which we didn't have. But also, I was talking to a girlfriend a couple of years ago, and she said we could get into college with an 18 at LSU, on your ACT. It's not the case anymore.
Nope.
It's very competitive, and so they have those pressures, right? And now, when I graduated from high school, the highest you could get was a 4.0. Now you can get a 4.5.
Yeah, a young lady has a 4.5 GPA.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Amazing. But it's just changed. So the culture has shifted a little more, competitive, and so of course with that comes the anxiety and the stressors of being able to perform.
Tell me about the ACT boot camp that you've got coming up.
So our ACT boot camps are the weekend before every ACT test. It's a one-day.
There it is on the screen.
Yes, it's a one-day boot camp. We go through all of the sections. Of course, there are some changes that are going to be coming to the ACT that will take effect this fall. And of course, we're ready for that. But it's a comprehensive course, and we go through all the sections and give the students exactly what they need, because this test is different from any test they've ever taken.
Yeah.
And half the battle of this test is knowing how to take it, and there is a mental side to it as well.
Quickly, 30 seconds, how can people learn about how to sign up for the boot camp or get access to you?
So the way that they can sign up for the boot camp is to go to our website, www.bestmbr.com, and you can read about all the things that we're doing there and all the services, because we also do K through 12 and college tutoring as well. But you can go to our website, or you can give us a call at 225-505-6900.
Okay.
And we can give you more information and answer any questions you may have.
I love it. Look her up on the Oprah podcast. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy yourselves. We are one weekend closer to Father's Day, the greatest weekend of the year.